What's up? Welcome to She, Her, They with Kittens. This week, I have my friend ZILO on with me all the way from the UK. I actually came across ZILO for the first time when I was listening to some random playlist just looking for new music, and she just stood out to me. Like, her sound just jumped out, her voice, everything. Her music has this, perfectly modern, jazzy, soulful flow to it that really hooked me, so basically became a stan immediately, and we ended up becoming internet friends. I'm really grateful for ZILO because we both have the same brand or type of introversion, introvertedness, and social anxieties that I really have trouble explaining to most people. I feel like most people don't quite get it. And through that, I really realized again how important it is to have people you relate to and who understand all the little different parts of you and all your facets to truly feel seen and heard. In this episode, we get into expectations of artists, letting go of judgment fears, and how to master self-discipline for self-improvement. Just a reminder that since language around identity is very nuanced and ever-evolving, some terms here may become outdated. This is meant to be a safe and inclusive space, so I'm going to do my best to constantly learn and stay on top of changes.
I wish Rakim could introduce you, but I'm gonna have you introduce yourself real quick.
Okay. Hi, I'm ZILO. I'm a human being from the UK. And I'm always super awkward when it comes to introducing myself, because I'm just oh, hey, I'm ZILO, for everybody that didn't know. And for anybody that does know, hey, good to see you again.
She's an artist and music person and a cat-loving introvert. And how do you identify, what are your pronouns and sexual orientation, if you will,
My pronouns are she, her. I'm not really fast, just call me whatever. Yeah. But if I'm referring to myself, I would say she or her. That's cool with me. And my sexual orientation, I think you'll find throughout this whole thing, I don't really like to attach myself to too many labels. I just don't really like labels in anything. I think it's because I just don't like feeling confined. And because I change a lot and grow a lot, sometimes I find, for me personally, labeling stuff can be quite limiting. And it's if you say you're one thing, and then 2 years down the line, you experience some different shit in your life, and you're not that anymore. People hold you to that.
Yeah, what you said 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I'm just a human being, and I like people. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Love that. And safe, nice, safe bet.
Yes.
I'm literally falling asleep in my arms, straight up sleepy boy. Yeah, I remember I came across you because I was, I think I was just clicking around through Spotify or something at the time, and I came across one of your songs, and I was like, oh, this is cute. And then I did a lurk, and I was like, cute, I want to be your
love that. I don't think I've ever asked you actually how you even found me. I think I just remember one day just seeing you put me in a playlist or mentioned me or something like that, and I was like, oh, who's this? I was like, oh, she seems cool, she likes cats. Yeah, we're in for a winner. Let's
yeah, no, I was like, she's cool, her music's sick, and and here we are now. I don't actually know your coming out story, or if you have a coming out story at all, but if you do, did you notice a difference in your creative process, before and after you came out, or even if you just came out to yourself and were like, I'm a little different? For you?
I mean, I didn't start writing songs. I wrote songs when I was 20. I think that's when I wrote my first song. And by that time, I'd already been with and I guess had like dated women. So I've never at any point written a song that's like not about my experiences with women. So I don't necessarily feel like there has been like I guess a difference in my process, other than I think when I first started writing songs, I don't remember ever being gender specific in my lyrics. I don't think I used any like pronouns in terms of like to give away who I was like referring to.
Was that on purpose?
Yeah, but I think that was more so because I'm quite a private person. And I think especially when I was younger, more so then than now, because there's a lot of stuff I'm working. I cared a lot about what people thought about me, and I didn't want people to know my business. Like at the time, I just thought, I'm just private. I don't want anyone to know my business, like stuff like that. But I think as I've gotten a bit older, I've realised that a lot of wanting to be so private, borderline like secretive about stuff, was more so because I cared about other people's opinions. So it could have been that. But also in some respects as well, I just kind of like the mystery of not saying like it was about this or it was about that. I think it was just quite mysterious as a whole. I didn't feel like I needed to. But as I started just becoming more open and honest in the ways that I express myself, naturally, if I wrote a song and it was about a girl, which they were mainly, is that they were all actually, is that if I felt like the word girl sounded good in the song, I wouldn't stop myself from saying it, because girl, her, she, like, it sounds cool in songs. Like, it rhymes with a lot of stuff anyway. So it's just like,
why not?
Why not? Why am I not saying it? Yeah. So I guess so, maybe. But I don't really feel like at any point I've like come out. I just sort of
existed.
Yeah, that's actually quite a difficult question to answer. I don't know. Maybe. But I think it's more so centered around I just was more honest in general with my lyrics. I was just quite say it how it is, as opposed to skirting around the point in like riddles and parables, you know. In all aspects of what I was singing about, I was just like, do you know what? Who cares? Like, let me just be upfront and honest about what I'm talking about in general.
Yeah. When you were growing up, if you heard more songs that had like same-sex love pronoun type representation, do you think that would have maybe made you feel a bit more comfortable like sooner, or understand yourself a bit better as you were growing up or through your life process and evolution?
Maybe, but also I wouldn't change the experience I had. I think as well, because I try not to center my identity around like stuff. I'm also want to try and center it around like things that are like completely within me. Like, I don't know, like the fact that I like to, like I'm a student or like a learner or I'm curious, like things like that. That regardless of whether or not there were like maybe more, songs by women about women or songs by men about men. It could have. It could have changed my mindset. It could have made me feel more comfortable. But I think the issue wasn't about me being comfortable with my sexuality. It was more so just about me caring what people think, period, about anything. It definitely could have changed my experience. But I don't know if it would have like drastically changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, and I forget, like, you said you started making music around when you were what, 20? You said 20?
Writing my own songs, yeah. I started doing, I guess, like music or exploring that, expressing myself in that way, like a little bit younger. But at first, I felt I didn't know how to like write a song. I was more so like into poetry and art. I was in like a choir, like a gospel choir.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. I that's how I even found out I could sing, to be honest.
I'm surprised I have a great voice.
I didn't know. I'm gonna be 100 with you. I didn't know. I just thought like me singing was the same as like anybody else singing. I was like, everybody sings like in the shower and stuff. But yeah, at school, this one teacher just basically gathered up everybody brown and black and just put us in a gospel choir. I was like, you're brown, you're black. Yeah, we need you for our gospel choir. So I was just like, oh, okay. A couple of my friends were there and we had to like everybody sing one by one. And I did. And everyone was like, what? I remember my best friend, he was like to me, you can sing all this time. I was like, oh, can I? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. I didn't know. So from there, sang for a few years in the choir and then I guess like met a producer when I was like 19 and would like record stuff at his studio, but I was just recording stuff that he'd already written. And they were like, I guess, concerned with like, I don't know, writing like hit songs and stuff like that. And me hearing that, having no experience, I just kind of thought, oh, well, I don't know how to write a hit song. I didn't even know I could sing. So I just like didn't until I guess I was 20 and just would listen to some instrumentals on SoundCloud, like when SoundCloud started becoming like a real thing. And just put poetry to music and did. And the first song I wrote was about an experience I had with a girl.
Aww.
I know.
Do you feel like, I mean, I'm sure back then, just from what you said, but do you feel now any pressure to create stuff that sounds or looks a certain way? And how do you fight that pressure? Because I feel like you've always been very like consistent with your sound, and it feels and looks, everything just is very authentic to you. But I can imagine the pressure to, sing this way or do things this way or make songs that sound like whatever. So how do you maintain your, authenticity?
That's an interesting one. I think, like I said, at first, before I had the confidence to write my own stuff, I felt like, I guess it had to sound a certain way, because as somebody who just wanted to soak up as much knowledge and learn as much as I could, I was just like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just like singing. So I'll just take whatever you're gonna throw at me, I guess. But then and I guess that was more like along the like pop lines, but I think that was just down to the person who I was working with at the time. But then once I stepped out of that and just started tapping into stuff that I just resonated more with me, like I guess I started up writing on like hip hop beats and stuff on SoundCloud. And that kind of stuff. I think because it just left space for me to, I guess, put poetry to music. So that's why I leant more towards the kind of hip hop style beats like this or ZILO beats and stuff like that, because it was just like a beat like on loop, like repetitive, like 8 bars or something. And I feel like doing that style, just being brown, even if I didn't do R&B as like someone brown, it would probably just be assumed like the amount of it's like, oh, R&B artist, you're an R&B artist, or you're like a rapper, or you hip hop. So not so much in terms of how my music has to look. I feel like I don't really feel like my music has to look a certain way. I more so have noticed it in the sense that being a woman making music, I've definitely had where just people who I've worked with wanted me to look a certain way, which is just, I think, what some people tend to want women to look like. You have to look a certain way. Like there's been times before I was told like, oh, you need to make sure you still, I know you like this, or I know you're this way inclined or whatever, but make sure you still appeal to men, or like make sure you still don't exclude that. And I'm like, bro, I'm out here just trying to tell my story. I think it's not really all about that, but I've more so experienced it in how I look. So I think
like wanting you to be like super sexy femme.
in terms of just how I would present myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm still pretty feminine. Like I feel like I embody both kind of energies. Like that's just this is me. I don't care too tough. It's just that I think was more so a thing. So navigating that being expected of women in general, not just me. I notice it. I think it's just a thing. Even women who probably are more like feminine presenting or whatever, all that stuff. I just think, it's just like some people could make you feel like that's how you gotta be. So now I don't care about that. But before, when I was still finding myself, not just as an artist, but more so as a person, I definitely peeped that and thought, this is strange. That doesn't feel natural to me, though. I want to kind of do my own thing. So I can't do anything that doesn't feel real to me, that doesn't feel genuine. Because people will see, like if I was being somebody that was not me,
people can tell.
You tell that I'm not comfortable doing that. It was harder when I was still sort of finding myself or understanding what, like, I feel like my purpose is or who I am and things like that. I think those kind of opinions or views or judgments of like how I should be as an artist or whoever I should be as an artist were things I considered a bit more before. I knew I had learned more so how to drown out that noise and realize that it really does not matter. Like it doesn't matter. You just, if you keep doing you, then you'll find your tribe. So that's why I keep doing me. Like, let me just figure out who I am and just do the fuck out of that. Yeah. And whoever will gravitate towards that will, and whoever won't. And either way, I don't. It's cool because what I'm doing it for is me. It's part of my own like kind of spiritual journey, I guess.
No, it's so important because I feel like, especially the more success people have, or the more eyes they have on them, the more people they connect with, there's this like more pressure to be a certain way. And I notice it too, where a lot of people who even, they're like super established and like super popular, crazy fan levels, whatever. Those artists evolve because everyone does and should. And seeing the kind of pushback from their fans or their followers or whatever, when they make a shift that is like, I'm at this new point in my life. I'm leaning towards a different sound or like whatever different style now. And so many people don't want you to change.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to really be so grounded and settled in yourself to be like, nah, I'm not doing it for you. And like, if you fuck with me, you got to fuck with me through all these phases. If not, like, I'm not going to just keep repeating the same thing forever.
No, I definitely agree with that. And I think, when you do put yourself out there, of course, like this industry in general is one where you're open to a lot of opinions and like critique or, praise or whatever. So I definitely see how it's like easy to get sucked into that or to care because, to a certain degree, like that plays a part in how many people connect with you, how big you are or what kind of artist you are, whether you're like an artist that's in the charts or you're this or that. But I think like fundamentally, you got to just think about what you're in it for. And I think for me, what I had to sit down and figure out is like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I want to be this type of artist or this type of artist or this type of artist? And I think why I'm so comfortable to just do what I want to do and just make the music I like to make, regardless of whether or not I think it's going to be like here or there or whatever. It's just because I do music because I like it. It's fun. Like, it's fun for me. It's dope that I can make like money out of it, but I know that I couldn't personally have it as the sole source of my income because
it changes everything
of why I do it. I do it for me, for my self-expression, because I want to listen to the music that I make. and for fun. And there's a lot of things that I think I would have to compromise being realistic in this industry. Like if I made it like my sole thing that I do, because I could sit here and moan about, oh yeah, but you know, these type of people, or people who look like this get here, or people who look like this, or people who act like this get there. And it's like, that's just the reality of some things though. And I'm cool. I'm cool because I want to just do what I want to do. I just want to make music because I enjoy it, and make art because I like it, and I'll share it, but more so because it's still about me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's about my own self-development.
Right.
You know, I'll put it out into the world because I had issues with caring about what people think and letting go of art because I had like wanted to be perfect, or wanted this. And so even me sharing it, I had to kind of go inwards and think, oh, what am I doing this for? And everything I do is for my own like self-development and how I can just get better and be a better person. Mm-hmm. But then I guess the dope thing about it is that people do gravitate towards it as well, and can also share that experience with me, if that makes sense.
How do you deal with like just the self-doubt that comes with being an artist, like getting over that the fear of judgment of other people? Like, how did you push past that to be able to share things and be a bit more open with your art, which is like very personal?
Acknowledge what the things are that I'm doubtful about, or that I'm insecure about, or that I feel some type of way about. Face it, like really sit and look in the mirror and face it. And then aggressively force it away. And by that, I mean, there's certain things and certain things I've been insecure about, or certain aspects of myself that I've, thought, I don't particularly like that. I want to work on that. Like, that doesn't align with the kind of person I'm trying to be. Mm-hmm. And certain things that I was insecure about have made me mad. Like, what the heck? I don't want that. I don't want to be that person. I don't like that. So I got mad and used that as fuel to just do something better about it, rather than like sitting and dwelling. Because I think like in figuring out what you're insecure about, sometimes those thoughts can be like super consuming and overwhelming. So I can definitely see how easy it is to just let that consume you and stay there and not do nothing about it. But I'm big on action and doing, and I'm naturally just I like to problem solve. I don't like feeling something and not doing anything about it. So anytime I, really sit and acknowledge something about myself that's reoccurring, that I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this, I feel insecure about this. I like have the humility to admit it's there, and then work my ass off to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So that accountability, humility, action, not dwelling, and also not being too hard on myself, but being hard enough on myself that it like I'm almost like a self-coach. Like, come on, get rid of this. Come on, man.
Do you have any little like default actions you go to when you feel like you need to overcome something or work on something? Do you have like, are you like, I'm going to journal about it and do this and that? Or like, do you have different action points and plans for overcoming certain issues or insecurities or characteristics you don't really like?
My approach to these things have changed. I've tried many things, I guess, because, you get recommended all sorts of stuff. Everybody's looking for self-care tips because, people want to work on doing better. I've tried all sorts of stuff, the journaling, the writing stuff down, the this, the that. And I found that a lot of those things for me personally is just writing it. It just doesn't do it. And I need action. Mm-hmm. And for me, me thinking about it in my head is like me writing it down. But I found that practicing different forms of just self-discipline in general, things that I found like hard to do. Like, for example, one of the things that I addressed in trying to become more self-disciplined was changing my diet, making sure I'm eating stuff that's extremely nutritious, not overeating, eating within my specific like calorie allowance and this and that, and removing certain things that I feel like I would use as a crutch.
Mm-hmm. Is that those crazy abs that you posted the other day? All the comments and they were like, whoa, abs.
Exercise is another one that's really helped me. And I think it's because I hated exercising. I did not enjoy it. I couldn't commit. I couldn't do it consistently. I thought, why do I keep talking myself out of it? So this year I just decided, no, I want to do it. I'm going to do it. And I think the thing with exercise that's really, really good for self-discipline and really, really good for working on getting stronger and just being more disciplined, especially when you keep it up consistently, is that I found that if I apply the same approach to exercising, which is like, okay, cool, you're not going to see results straight away. You're going to you might do some press ups or push ups or sit ups or whatever and expect to see abs straight away. There's going to be like a long period of time where you're doing little bits and not seeing any results. But 6 to 8 months down the line, 2 years down the line, you're going to see a dramatic change. And using that as like an analogy of how to approach things on yourself you want to work on, it's like there's no quick fix that's going to make you change overnight. It's going to be a little thing that you're going to have to consistently do every day, every week. And you're going to feel like you're not seeing any results for a while until you've been doing it long enough that, oh, actually, now I'm stronger. Now I can physically see a difference.
Yeah.
So I found exercising has dramatically changed my my ability to overcome many other things in my life. Approaching them with a clear head as well, like sober is another one for me. There's so many things, but I think anything that you find really difficult and you don't do that and commit to that. Because if you can do that, you can do other hard stuff. Because I think we tend to run from stuff that's difficult and painful.
Yeah.
But working on insecurities and self-doubt and issues that you've got with yourself is really hard. It's really, really, really hard work. Before, I didn't realize I was doing it, but I would do anything to not really, really go deep in and work on stuff.
Find other things to do.
Yeah. You tell yourself you're working on yourself. You do. I convince myself, like, yeah, I know myself. I'm working on myself. And no, then it hits you. Like when you're, because I spend a lot of time by myself.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just facing it and doing something about it and making good lifestyle changes, but just little bits here and there. Yeah. I think if you pull from little bits, have patience, because you've got to have a hell of a lot of that. But you got to want to do it and you got to be ready.
That stuff is so helpful because, everybody has things about themselves that they want to change or improve on or grow. And it's just really hard. And I think with any new skill, and I would consider like self-care and self-discipline a skill, it's really hard to commit to something when you're not seeing the results immediately, especially now. We're such a instant gratification type of situation. So I think it's really helpful for people to remember and understand, like, you got to keep doing the little bits and, not be focused on the immediate result.
Yeah, of course. And that's the key. It's like, you got to really want to make that change and you got to be ready to do it. And you got to be ready to face like the good, bad and the ugly, because the initial stage is really ugly. Like, it's really hard. It's like, there's a lot of hard work. And I don't even mean just physically. It's like, to really make that change and commit to it. You gotta be prepared to face quite how bad it's gonna get. But once you have that, it's just like, okay, cool, I've got all this info now. Like, what can I do with this? This is just me and my nerdy brain. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, I've got this now. Gotta be hungry for it, hungry to do something about it. And then, like I said, just aggressively work on trying to do better. But I've definitely found that before being able to commit to being a better person for myself, I couldn't really commit to many things. Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't be consistent with like certain things. That probably would be why I couldn't keep up working out or keep up doing this or keep up doing that, because I couldn't even commit to myself, if that makes sense. Yeah. So once I started just doing little things and thinking, okay, what's one of the things I overindulge in, or what's one of the things I think I do too much of? Okay, let me see if I can really just focus purely on that, tunnel vision with that. Okay, this has got a bit better now. Like I'm going to do something else. Okay, cool. And then like put it all together, and then you start noticing massive differences. So
yeah, it's almost like there's a discipline muscle in our brain, and you just slowly train that one, and then once it's strong enough, you can apply that.
Yeah, you got to go to the brain gym. Yeah. But day by day, you start doing the little brain workout here, brain workout there. Eventually, your brain gets stronger, and then I feel like once you start doing that work, you never ever go back to the state that you were before you started working out. It's literally the same. Like if you start working out and then, I don't know, say you worked out consistently for years or whatever, yeah. And then like you have like a month of where you don't. When you go back to working out, it's not going to be like starting from scratch. Yeah. And it's a similar sort of thing with that. I think once I started viewing it like that, I realized it helped me to, have more patience with myself and make sure I do it consistently, because it's like, okay, it's cool. Some days, it's not going to be as easy. Some days, like, it's the same way where some days I might try and do certain part of my workout and it's hard, but then I do it the next day and it feels easier. It's so similar. It's like such a similar process.
Mm-hmm. You just have to be committed. No, I think that's all so helpful. I love hearing people's different, I guess not strategies, but just approaches for dealing with self-discipline and insecurity. Something different works for everybody. So it's fun to try everything.
For sure.
Okay, I have a fun question. If you could dream up your ideal creation zone, what would it look like? There's no limitations on anything, whether it's electricity, physics. You could be in space, you could be in the ocean, you could be in both somehow, whatever. Just your like perfect magical space to create and exist in.
Great question, by the way. I love that question. Okay. Let me paint the scene here. Ooh. Okay. I'd say it would be a room that's like well lit, like a big room, right? That if I press a button, the way the room looks can change. So depending on my mood, I can change the like wallpaper almost of like the room. Like you can make a different screensaver or like wallpaper for your phone. I would have it so that I had like a bunch of different things and I could just press it. It could be like I put my fingerprint on it and it would be able to like assess my mood and make the colors and everything in the room best fit that mood on the day. That would be the room.
Advanced.
That would be the room. Yeah. Just see. That would be a thing. That would be a thing one day.
Oh, I'm sure.
It'll be that. There'll be like comfy sofas and like a bed. There'll also be like a massive fridge and place for snacks. Like there'll just be an abundance of snacks. It will never ever run out. Mm-hmm. I think I'll just have loads of different like vending machine style things of where if I want to do, it'll have like art stuff or it'll have like equipment or whatever. And it's like, okay, what am I going to do? what am I going to use today of either art stuff, music stuff, just any things to create, which I can do in the room. But it will also have an outside space, right? And similarly to the inside space where you can press the button and change it, it will have both a garden. So yeah, just a nice garden with loads of plants, and just massive open space. But then also I could do the same thing, and it could be a beach with like the ocean on some days as well, because sometimes I'm in a mood for like the ocean. I love hearing the sounds of the sea, and waves and just the beach. But then I also I've really grown to love a good garden. Like I love my garden. You'd see I'm always out there. So yeah, I think what we've established here is I would like it to change often.
Yeah.
I love change. So I'd want it to be able to constantly change and be fit to my mood.
I love that. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
it's like...
Oh, that was good. What about you? I kind of want to ask you. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, mine is... There's a lot going on. I realized what it was when I started meditating a lot.
Okay.
I have like my own slew of insecurities and issues. And when I was just trying to get over my own self-doubts and like negative self-talk, when I wanted to start making music, I started doing this one meditation. Mm-hmm. So I'm in a field. It's like a big meadow, like really beautiful, like grassy and flowers. And it's like a big open meadow. But then the perimeter, like the two sides and the back of it are like this beautiful lush forest. And then in front of me is a cliff and the beach.
Mm-hmm. That is so nice.
So I'm getting like all these things. And then my little zone in there is this like big golden warm like bubble room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in there, it's like I can see everything outside me and like hear everything and feel everything. But then I'm like very protected. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. In that little area. It's only positive thoughts and energy are allowed. And then I have like every instrument, and I've got cats, and I've got, snacks and all the good shit.
Nice.
So it's like very like comfortable, calm nature vibe.
I like that. I feel like, can your place be next to mine so that we can just go and visit? Because part of me is now thinking, your place kind of sounds pretty cool. I want to go there. I'll come to your place.
You can I can have it like be raining on my bubble, but still sunny.
It's the vibe. See what? Yeah, that's a vibe. That's what it's all about. Like, but no, I feel you on the nature and the beach. It's the combo of both. It's very peaceful. I find there's something so humbling about being out in like wide open space with, like you said, edge of a cliff type vibe, or just right next to the ocean. I think it sort of, well, for me anyway, it forces me to really think about how massive the world is. And it puts into perspective that I'm just this little ant on this planet, this massive planet. And yeah, it reminds me that the world is so much bigger than just the one little space that I'm so used to being in.
Well, I'm glad you overcame whatever little fears you had of sharing stuff and came and shared your wisdom and your light.
Thanks. I appreciate you having a space for that. That's dope.
Well, I feel like that's a good note to wrap it up on.
Woohoo!
But thank you for doing this. And
you're welcome.
Yeah. We need to take a photo. I'm going to do a screenshot. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Hopefully that was cool. I feel like that was cool.
Yeah, that was great. That was really, really great.
Thanks so much for tuning into She, Her, They. Make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube for video from this episode. Join us at She, Her, They on Instagram, and if you want to give me a lurk, you can find me across all social media at I Am Kittens. Yes, that's like baby cats with an S at the end. We'll catch you next time.